It's a gorgeous Sunday afternoon in Washington, D.C. Pirates had a rough ride yesterday against Max Scherzer, who no-hit the Bucs. Today is a new day, and the Pirates looking to salvage a game in this three-game series with the Nationals. Hi again, everybody, and happy Father's Day with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Ince-Mikowski joins us in a bit. The Pirates' pitching's been spectacular during the month of June, but the bats, Bob, have not been able to keep up.
Yeah, it's been kind of covering up the fact that we're back to not scoring runs. You remember early on in the season that was a big problem. Well, look at the runs per game in the last couple of weeks, 2.6. But we've been able to win nine of those, 9 and 5. So the pitching has been carrying the weight so far. And the bats got to wake up and start doing their job here toward the end of this month.
And as far as pitching goes for the Pirates today, it'll be Charlie Morton. Charlie has been sensational since coming off the disabled list. He's 5-0, and with a win today, he could tie his entire win total from last season. Charlie, the subject of our lows, never stop improving.
Well, he has been fantastic. There's no getting around that. But really the difference is he's really simplified things. He's using his fastball more than ever. Sinker, 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 pitching to contact. If you look at his walks and strikeouts, they're just 8 and 15. So he's not really trying to strike people out. He's throwing more strikes, getting those ground balls, and kind of really just believing in that sinking fastball.
Right-hander Charlie Morton faces left-hander Gio Gonzalez. The Pirates have won their last 7 games against left-handed starters. It's the Bucs and the Nats from D.C. coming up on Root Sports.
Driven to be better, and by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucs. Ball on Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. By Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucs.
Happy Father's Day from Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Pirates baseball, final game of this 5-game road trip. And Max Scherzer, who is the man of the hour in maybe 24 hours at least. And Jose Tabata did not get a nice ovation when he was introduced here this afternoon, but Jose Tabata is in the lineup, and he'll be playing right field today. We'll take a look at the Pirates lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Harrison leading off, hitting .410 with 4 runs batted in over the last 9 games. Marte, McCutchen, then Jung Ho Kang. Cervelli batting 5th. Then Jose. Corey Hart back in there against the lefty playing first base. Jordy Mercer hits 8th, and Charlie Morton will bat 9th against Nationals left-hander Gio Gonzalez.
Hey, you look at Gio's numbers, and not really what you, I think, expect out of him. ERA almost at 5. But from what I understand, he was, it'd been like kind of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type thing with him. That there are times where he has been very good, and then times where he just falls apart. So I don't know what to expect out of Gio this afternoon.
Michael Taylor's been getting it done in the outfield. A terrific play against Jordy Mercer yesterday. Denard's fan Bryce Harper in right. Yunel Escobar back out there after missing yesterday's game. Ian Desmond, shortstop, Espinoza and Robinson on the right side of the infield. And Espinoza had a stellar play late in the ball game yesterday to help Scherzer preserve that no-hitter. So we're getting ready to start game 3. It's Josh Harrison standing in. Pirates in their all grays today. Josh batting .279. Ready to face Gio Gonzalez. Gonzalez against the Pirates 2-0 in 5 career starts. Rivers Casino tips to win, Bob.
J.A. has great numbers against Gio, and hopefully he'll be the guy this afternoon leading the way, and Harper and all his home runs.
And a line drive right to the second baseman Espinoza.
You can't hit the ball over the fence if the ball's on the ground, and that's what Morton's strength is, getting the ground ball. So maybe he'll be able to keep Harper in the yard, maybe even keep him in the infield. Harper so much just a huge part of this Washington offense.
29-year-old Gio Gonzalez pitching to Marte. It's a ball inside. Max Scherzer still enjoying the chocolate shower he got yesterday. Ground ball to second base, and Espinoza makes another play, and there are 2 down.
Well, let's hope we don't have a chocolate sundae.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's better. That's kind of the thing they do here. They take the stuff you put on the ice cream sundaes and squirt it all over the subject. Well, for Father's Day, hashtag Bucks Booth. You can tweet us your Father's Day messages today. You see them rolling across the bottom of your screen a little later. Clint Hurdle, Father's Day means a lot to him. Told me earlier today. Talked to his kids first thing in the morning. Talked to his dad for a while today. His dad, Clint Sr., they're very tight. And the blue wristbands that the players and staff will be wearing today. Some of us with the blue ribbons on. And this one down to the corner, left side, and that is going to go off the wall. And McCutchen has his first hit of the series, and he will turn and go to second base with a double.
McCutchen normally lights this ballpark up, loves to hit here, but not until game 3 to do that.
And there goes the no-hitter. So the bats trying to pick things up.
You always like that first one to be nice and clean. Pretty much down the middle, just smoked it into the corner.
Runner in scoring position, 2 down for Jung Ho Kang. Strike called to him. 0-1 to Jung Ho. Had a base hit on Friday night. And one of the Pirates' 6 hits on Friday. Pirates.com/vote. Give McCutchen some votes. Get him in the starting lineup. You can vote up to 35 times. Again, go to Pirates.com/vote. Wide to third base. Foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jung Ho Kang. Sean Barber, the home plate umpire today. Mark Wegner out at first. Crew chief Mike Winters is at second. And Mike Mutlinski is over at third. And 2 out, 1 on, and a 1-2 pitch coming from Gonzalez. Jung Ho fought that one off. Well, he's kind of settled into that cleanup role. He's been hitting there a lot lately. That's where he hit a lot in Korea, so he's accustomed to being the 4th hitter in the order. Jung Ho doesn't like to refer to it as the cleanup. It's just known to him as the number 4 hitter. Not a term that he was accustomed to in Korea. The 2-2 goes down swinging. A double from McCutchen. He's left at second. No score after a half inning. A lot of Pirates fans, dads and sons and daughters here. Let's take a look now at the Nationals batting order. It's brought to you by Honda. Bernard Span will lead off, then Yunel Escobar third. Bryce Harper batting in the 3 spot. The right fielder hit his career best 23rd home run in the 4th inning yesterday. Clint Robinson will bat cleanup, play first, and Espinosa. Lobaton behind the plate, switch hitting catcher Ian Desmond at short. Michael Taylor batting 8th, the left fielder, and Gio Gonzalez will bat 9. As Charlie Morton gets set to deliver his first pitch of the ball game to Denard Span. Things really opened up for the Nationals yesterday when Span reached first on a strikeout and a wild pitch in the 6th inning. It was 1-0 at the time.
Charlie's numbers brought to you by Hyundai. The thing I think that you really like to look at here: 15 strikeouts, 8 walks. Both of them kind of low numbers, which means Charlie is pitching to contact, which is a great thing for him to do with that sinker. And I firmly believe that is why he's having so much success in his first 5 starts. Not messing around too much, trying to do too many things control-wise. Let him hit the ground balls.
Series will keep a close eye on the ground ball count today. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch to Denard Span. In the air to left. And Marte with the catch. That ball carried pretty well.
Yeah, it certainly did. Opposite field. All the way to the track. That's one way you can get a sinker baller in the air, is just really concentrate on doing nothing but hitting the ball the other direction. Jay Hay out at second base. Walker still on the shelf.
Walker not in today against the left-hander Gonzalez.
It's quite a few games in a row he hasn't been out there.
Whole road trip. So Yunel Escobar, who was a late scratch yesterday, was sick with a stomach flu. Picked a bad game to get sick. But Escobar back in there today. Not Williams, the skipper.
Oh, would have been a different second baseman, right?
It would have been.
So maybe that was the key move of the game.
It all worked out how it worked out.
Espinosa playing second base made the big defensive play.
Yep.
And he wouldn't have been there if Escobar hadn't backed out of the lineup at the last moment. Fate.
It's funny how things work out. Worked out almost perfectly for Max Scherzer yesterday. Ground ball left side. That's past Mercer in the left field. And Escobar aboard. 1 for 1 for Escobar. One out and one on for the Nationals. Our Barrel Automotive League leaders stat focuses on Bryce Harper. First in OPS, first in runs, third in batting average, second in home runs behind Giancarlo Stanton, and second in runs batted in. He had 2 of those yesterday.
Well, this is the guy you circle with the big red magic marker when the game starts. You're pitching, you're like, okay, I am not going to let Harper beat me.
He's having a great season so far. Throw to first and Escobar back.
Of course, everybody does that. And he's still hitting .347, 23 home runs and 55 RBIs. And everybody says, okay, I'm not going to let him beat me. And he still does.
And this one hit deep to right field. Way back it goes, and this ball is gone into the upper deck. Home run number 24 for Harper, and it is 2-0 Washington. It's just the second homer Charlie has given up on the year.
Now the fastball was down, but probably needed to be on the other side of the plate. It looked like they were trying to go down and in with the fastball, and that's where he put it. And Harper just dropped the head of the bat to it. I think most of the time you want to keep the ball away from those left-handers and make them hit the ball the other direction. Yeah, that's where the target is. Ball was down and in.
Pitch to Clint Robinson. First baseman takes it inside.
They're trying to throw Robinson in the same spot. Down and in.
Bryce Harper, a violent swing results in 2 runs. And that is the home run ball. Shot foul over by the Bats dugout up above it. Ball and 2 strikes to Clint Robinson. 269 hitter. And he hits one to right field. Jose Tabata took a bad route to it. It gets past him to the wall.
He must not have saw it. Well, that was worse than a bad route.
Well, a double for Robinson. That's 3 straight hits off of Charlie Morton now in the bottom of the first.
Well, he was actually coming in, wasn't he?
He was. He was coming over and in, and then realized that ball was stung. They get past him, and Robinson has his 6th double. Switch hitting infielder Danny Espinosa.
To me, that's another spot that we've been very inconsistent. We talked earlier about the offense in the open, how it was bad and then good, and now it's 2.3 runs a game over the last 15 or so. But the defense is another area that I think we've been very inconsistent. It's not that we haven't made some good defensive plays, but we make some plays that you just kind of like, that you don't understand. Like that one there, I guess the only thing I can think of is the bright sun and maybe the stands, and he just didn't see the ball. But those are the kind of things that don't show up on the stat sheet as far as errors and that sort of thing. But that's the kind of play I'd like us to get better at. The defensive things that aren't necessarily errors. There's what he's looking at. And on a bright sunny day, I guess you could see how they might lose the flight of the ball for a while.
And Espinosa is down on strikes. Strikeout number 1 for Charlie. 2 men out.
Only his 16th strikeout of the year.
Got him with the Uncle Charlie. Jason Worth for the Nationals, not active right now.
And there's a couple games over 500, but they've had to deal with quite a few health issues with their roster. Strasburg hasn't been healthy. They're been fortunate. The National League East is kind of one of those divisions this year where a little bit above 500 gets you in first place. But you would think that somebody is going to start playing a little bit better, and then that would make it more important for them to get healthy and have a better record.
So Ryan Zimmerman with plantar fasciitis, and Jason Worth with a left wrist injury. That's our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Lobaton pulls this one foul. Lobaton doing the catching today for Matt Williams' club. Matt Williams was very, very unhappy after their last game prior to the Pirates coming in against Tampa Bay. The Rays would win. He told his team, you need to step up. Got on him a little bit, and they have won 2 in a row. They have an aggressive approach at the plate. The team doesn't walk a ton, and they will come out swinging. Saw that in Chicago too. The White Sox had that approach. They just didn't take very many walks.
As long as you're hitting good pitches, then that's really not a problem. When it becomes a problem, you have that aggressive team that swings the bat early and counts and is hitting pitches. The stuff that's on the edge of the strike zone, not good solid strikes. That's what I think you have to look at when you have a team that likes to swing early. Well, what kind of pitchers are they swinging at? Of course, normally you don't really have to look at that because you can just look at the batting averages. And if they're swinging at good pitches, they're going to have higher batting averages, and it's not an issue to begin with.
2-2 pitch, and Lobaton hits one to center field. That's down for a hit. Now she's going to come up with another run, throw to the plate, up the line, and it's 3-0. 2-out RBI single by the catcher Jose Lobaton.
Well, for whatever reason, Charlie really having a tough time getting the ball on the ground. This ball is down. Look at that. That's a good hard sinker, actually below the knees a little bit. Might not even have been called a strike. And he was able to get it in the air. They didn't pull it either. It didn't necessarily go the other way, but hit it right back through the middle, able to get it in the air. It's easier. You really want when you're throwing sinkers, look at the ball going down right there. He's able to get just underneath it. You want guys trying to pull the ball. If they're pulling the ball, that's when they kind of roll their wrists over and get on top. And you get that ball hooked on the ground.
Seventh man to bat in the inning is Ian Desmond. And Desmond takes a strike. 3 runs on 4 hits in the bottom of the first inning for the Nationals. Desmond makes it another hit. That's 5. Lobaton around second. He'll go to third. And with runners at the corners and 2 outs, the Nationals keep the inning alive. Charlie Morton struggling here in the first inning to get guys out. Nationals swinging the bats, and this one an opposite field flare.
Yeah, they've hit some balls decent, and they've been lucky a couple of times. That was definitely the lucky hit. A jam shot.
5 of the last 6 hitters have had hits, including the home run by Harper. Hunter takes off. They're going to let him go. An uncontested stolen base for Desmond. That's his 2nd steal of the season.
I'll be very careful here with Taylor. You're already down 3 runs. You can't give up a base hit here and be down 5 in the first inning. Got a base open. Be careful with your pitches.
0-1 to Taylor. A little number toward third. Swinging bunt. And that's going to be a hit and a run. Can you believe that? Lobaton comes in to score. Taylor with an infield single, his 24th RBI, and now first and third again. And Gio Gonzalez will stand in.
Well, that's why you got to be real careful in that scenario. There, you've already given up 3 runs. You had an open base and the pitcher coming up. Yeah, it's not like he threw a bad pitch though, and it got hit off the wall or anything, but still ended up giving up another run.
Six hits already. On Friday night, the Nationals got 14 hits off of A.J. Burnett. Throw to first. Taylor gets back. Bryce Harper, his 2nd home run in as many games, extends his career high to 24. And he is 1 behind the Marlins' Giancarlo Stanton now, who leads the world with 25. That one gets away, and another run's going to come in. And the wheel has fallen off the cart in the first inning. All the way to third base goes Taylor.
Why are we even throwing the first base with the pitcher up? Again, defense. And it's not the error that bothers me. It's why are we doing this? Why are you throwing the first base? You get a pitcher at the plate that hasn't got a hit this year. The guy at the plate hasn't got a hit this year. You should have been able to get out of this inning 3-0, not 5-0.
Well, Taylor on first to third on the throwing error by Charlie Morton. It is 5-0.
Clint has to be very unhappy what he's seeing.
Especially with the way the Pirates bats have been going lately. They're going to have to come up with an explosion today. Already in a 5-0 hole. And since the Nationals have won the first 2 out of 3, they've won the series, and Pirates haven't lost a series, well, since sometime in mid-May. And that looks like it's catchable for Hart. Pitch outside. Some were thinking that was strike 3. And including that man. And Charlie with another pitch. And that's his first hit of the season. Boy, the Nationals are living right. Gonzalez going to second base.
That's a double.
A double for Gio Gonzalez, his very first hit of the season. He drives in Taylor. It is 6-0. And the Nationals have batted around in the first. Charlie Morton with 30 pitches so far.
Wow, this team seems to be got ambushed. They missed his spot by a bunch. You see where the glove location was for the sinker. It's down and away, and the ball goes up and in. And Gonzalez just kind of a lucky hits this ball off the handle. And I saw Tabata miss it down the line, and Gonzalez got all the way to second. And Tabata tried to catch the carom, and it got by him.
7 hits in the first. 2 outs. And Denard Span batting for the second time this inning. He flied out to left field to start the inning. Span hitting .307. And he will take a strike. Denard Span has hit safely in 7 straight games. He's had multi-hit games in 3 of his last 4. Gio Gonzalez at second base with a double and an RBI. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, it looked like he was coming to a stop at first base.
Two ball, 1 strike pitch. Missed inside. That's too bad all the rain's out of the forecast. That'd now be a good time for some.
Well, with the rain after the game last night, man.
This will be pitch number 35 of the inning. That's a foul ball. A 1-out single by Escobar, then a 2-run homer by Harper, a double by Clint Robinson. And after Espinosa struck out, Lobaton an RBI single, Desmond a base hit, Taylor an RBI base hit, Gio Gonzalez an RBI double. Nationals have batted around. Span batting for the second time in the bottom of the first. Payoff pitch fouled off. They can keep Gonzalez out there as long as they want. Wear him out a little. 3-2 to Span. Charlie walks him.
Yeah, who's probably feeling this will look good is Cervelli. Catching this day game in this heat. Having a 40-pitch first inning.
Well, Clint's getting somebody up.
Could be a long afternoon for Frisco.
Vance Worley, long man, getting ready. Worley pitched a little bit at the end of the game yesterday. He'll have to go here for Charlie eventually. Charlie with 37 pitches and off to his roughest start of the season by far. Pitch inside to Escobar. 2 balls, no strikes. Bryce Harper on deck. And Charlie certainly does not want to lose the guy at the plate because he does not want to face Harper with the bases full. Whether he faces him or not, the Pirates don't want to have Harper at the plate with the bases full. 2-0. Strike call. Escobar had a 5-hit game here Thursday against Tampa Bay. Had 3 5-hit games this year. That's a rarity. Escobar communicating with Sean Barber, the home plate umpire. I wonder what that's about. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. 2 on, 2 out. Well, Escobar is the only player in Nationals or Expos history, the history of this franchise, to have 3 5-hit games in a season.
Some guys don't have 3 5-hit games in their career.
I know it. And he lifts this one deep down the left field line. This ball is gone. A home run, a 3-run shot for Escobar. It is 9-0 Washington in the first inning. This game is starting off like the Father's Day fiasco in D.C.
I think you can say more than starting off. This is just a nightmare first inning.
That's going to be it for Charlie.
He just hangs a curveball on it, hung it right over the inside corner, about belt high.
Well, the Pirates have not been in a game like this all season. Not this way. The pitching has been sensational. Charlie Morton off to one of the roughest starts in his career, perhaps the roughest. And Vance Worley will come in with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. It is 9-0 Nationals. runs scored in the first inning with 9. And Vance Worley has to take over with 2 outs and nobody on.
Well, Vance went a long time without pitching, not 2 days in a row. It's the life of that long man.
Well, Harper, who has already hit a 2-run home run this inning, up for the second time, and he takes outside for a ball. One and 0 to Harper. Tough start for Father's Day for Clint Hurdle and crew. Not what they had in mind. Certainly not after yesterday. Here comes the 1-1. And ground ball foul wide of first. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Harper, 24 home runs, 57 RBIs. Second in the league in RBIs behind Stanton, who has 63. And Carlos Stanton from Miami. Harper is second in RBIs, second in home runs. And he is third in batting average. He is way up there in the Triple Crown categories. Vance Worley comes in, strikes out Harper. But serious damage done with 9 runs in the first.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. By Bud Light. Stay in the game and drink responsibly. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Well, some concerned looks from the Father's Day crowd. The UPMC scoreboard 9-0. Bryce Harper with a 2-run home run. Yunel Escobar with a 3-run homer.
Yeah, this has not been a good trip for the folks that drove down here for the weekend.
Gio Gonzalez got his first hit of the season, an RBI double. He'll face Francisco Cervelli. First pitch of the second inning outside. 3-11 for Francisco. Mindset now, Bob, when you get behind this early, is it just go out and try to win the next inning?
Well, take a strike for sure. Hope the other pitcher gets wild and walk some guys and you come up with a big hit, because now you're going to have a couple of big innings. You certainly can't play for 1 run at any point now.
Fans giving Jose Talbot a less than a welcome reception.
Thought Ryan Braun was coming to the plate.
Well, the perception, obviously, on the Washington side of things, they're disappointed with the way the game ended yesterday, in spite of the fact it was a no-hitter. But if you see Jose Talbot play, you know that he's close to the plate to begin with. And it was a breaking ball. It was a slider. He grounds this one down to third. And there are 2 out. And with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the top of the 9th yesterday. 1 strike away from a perfect game was Max Scherzer. And Jose gets hit on the protective padding and is sent down to first base by home plate umpire Mike Machlinski. Scherzer retired the next man, Josh Harrison, on a fly ball to left, and he had the no-hitter. And Corey Hart hits a ground ball to the third baseman, barehanded by Escobar. 1, 2, 3. 3 ground balls. And we go to the bottom of the second, 9-0. Travel with Gregory Polanco to his native Dominican Republic for a first-person account of where he comes from, to his elementary school, spending time with his family, and even hanging out with current teammate Starling Marte. Driven Gregory Polanco tonight at 5:30 on Root Sports. Bottom of the second, Nats 9, Pirates nothing. It's Father's Day Sunday afternoon. Vance Worley will face Clint Robinson. And he delivers a strike, so now Vance will be in there for a while. Charlie Morton lasted just 2/3 of an inning today. Robinson down the line, foul. You know, it's strange, one of those things, Bob, I'm sure you know all about it too, is that it's hard to pinpoint any one thing. Some days you have it, and every once in a while you just don't. In Charlie's case today, he didn't. And it's hard to figure out why those things happen. Gung-ho gun. We'll throw out Robinson, 1 down.
Well, the inning definitely snowballed on him. He certainly had a chance to get the inning over with the pitcher hitting up there that, as I said before, and you said, they hadn't got a hit all year. Just a rough outing. That's a shame because he had such a great ERA going. Now his ERA is blown up.
Went from 162 up to 397.
I can't do anything about it now.
So have to climb the hill here. Espinosa loops one into shallow right field. Here comes Tampa, and he will make a sliding attempt. He won't get it. A base hit for Espinosa. And now everybody in the lineup 1 through 9 has reached base at least once.
It's like everything they hit goes for a hit. This was way up in the air. Surprised it fell in. Just off the tip of the glove.
Catcher Jose Lobaton. RBI base hit and a run scored in the first. Takes ball 1. Lobaton to shallow left field. Mercer out. Marte in, and the ball finds grass again. Now Dinkin and Duncan here in the second inning for Washington.
Hey, got the magic wands going, don't they?
Double digits in hits with 10. They now have double-digit hits in 6 of the last 9 games. Hitting's contagious here in Washington. Here's Desmond. Base hit, stolen base, and a run scored. 2 on, 1 out. And a strike call. Worley ready and set to deliver the 0-1. And Desmond hits it up in the air. Center field. McCutcheon will make the catch. And now 2 men out for Washington. Well, Desmond is 1 for 2. Next Sunday, the Pirates take on the Atlanta Braves at 1:35. All kids 14 and younger get a Pirate Parrot Gnome thanks to Trib Total Media. Get to the ballpark early for the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street. And after the game, kids are invited to run the bases, courtesy of the original Pizza Logs. For tickets, go to pirates.com. Michael Taylor at the plate. He takes ball 1 inside. Ready for the 1-0 is Worley. He delivers a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. The expressions are a little different in the third base dugout as compared to the first base dugout. Taylor hits one over that first base dugout, out of play.
I'm sure that Sean would love to be out there playing, regardless what the score is. He's one of those kind of guys that just itching to get in the ball game. Got a left-hand pitcher out there.
Worley's 1-2, and Taylor in the air to shallow right field. Here comes Tabata again, and this time he makes the grab to retire Michael Taylor. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We'll head to the third in Washington. Max Scherzer was the man of the day yesterday. His first career no-hitter, the second one in Nationals history. Jordan Zimmerman had one on the last day of the season last year. Top of the third, Pirates up. And the score 9-0. Pups in the park today. Folks able to bring their best friends in on a Father's Day Sunday. Gio Gonzalez will face Jordy Mercer. Mercer batting .213. 2 home runs, 12 knocked in. Jordy with his 8th straight start at shortstop. That dog takes up more seats.
You know, it's a little warm for a pup day, I would think.
87. A little humid too. Well, dogs like baseball.
In the evening when it's cool, they like it.
I think that dog was keeping score. Mercer draws a base on balls. Let's check in downstairs with Robbie Inchmakowski.
Well, Tim, there's an old saying. It says, when life gives you lemons, you sometimes make lemonade. And that's exactly what manager Clint Hurdle did yesterday after the no-hitter that Max Scherzer threw against the Pittsburgh Pirates. He took the 2 lineup cards that he had and he offered them to Max Scherzer as a piece of memorabilia. Well, Scherzer politely said, thank you, but I've got enough. So what did Hurdle do? He went and had Max Scherzer sign the cards and return them back to Hurdle. Now, the plan is for them to go to good use. Clint Hurdle is going to put those up for auction, and it's going to benefit the Prader-Willi Foundation. He's not exactly sure when it's going to happen or to exactly what part of the Prader-Willi Foundation it's going to go to. However, it is going to go for a good cause, and Clint Hurdle certainly did make lemonade out of the lemons he was dealt yesterday.
Well, some good will come out of that. Clint always trying to find ways to raise money for Prader-Willi.
Yeah, from a baseball sense also, it you know, it's great, you know, no hitter, might have been a perfect game, all that. But it's just a game during the season. It's no different than the first game here in Washington. There was a loss. So it really doesn't mean a whole lot in the big picture. You just come out again this afternoon and you got to play another one.
Well, Worley fails to get the bunt down and strikes out. Let's go back to Pittsburgh. Dan Potash standing by with his state. Oh, we're going to keep it right here. Sorry, we're just told not to move. So we don't move. Freeze. We won't freezing. Freezing. Really not freezing. It's warm up here.
Yeah, there will be no freezing, if anything, this afternoon. Hot, warm. This is how it is in the summer. DC has definitely become one of the warmer places we play. Here in St. Louis. Atlanta. Put this ballpark in with those.
Josh hits one in the air to deep left center field. Span with room. And the center fielder grabs it right in front of the warning track. And now we will indeed, I promise, send you to Pittsburgh. Dan Potash is there with a State Farm game break. Starling Marte at the plate now with 2 men out. And the pitch to Starling is there for strike 1. Balls and a strike to Marte, 276 hitter. Starling during this series has struggled. No hits at all in this series yet. Pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, the way the inning started out is really what you're looking for when you're like this, with that base on balls, but then there's nothing to go with it.
Pirates are down in the 3rd. Bottom of the 3rd inning in Nationals Park. 9-0 on this Father's Day Sunday afternoon with Bob Walk and Robbie Smikowski. I'm Tim Neverett. Glad you're with us. Stay with us. See what the Bucs can do here. They're going to try to climb back into this ball game. Vance Worley taking over for Charlie Morton. Gio Gonzalez fouls this one way back up here.
They've been the highest pop flies since we've been here. That almost got up to eyeball level with us.
I was surprised how close that ball looked for a moment. Haven't seen one that high up here. Another foul ball back, not nearly as high up. That's delivering a fastball. Yeah, this is the highest viewpoint from a broadcast booth in all of baseball. Pirates have the 2nd highest. Kind of nice up here, though. A great view of home plate.
A great view of the Capitol. Of course, it's covered in scaffolding right now.
That's pretty much our view right there.
Yep.
And Gonzalez swings and strikes out. Cervelli has to tag him out on the drop 3rd strike. So 1 out for the Nationals in the 3rd. On the road and want to watch your Pirates? Subscribe to MLB.TV Premium for live or on demand on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Well, 1 out and Denard Span up for the 3rd time in the game. He does not have a hit. He's the only Nationals player in the lineup without a hit. He did reach base in his 2nd at bat in the 1st inning when he walked.
Well, his 1st at bat, he drove the ball all the way the warning track, the opposite direction in the left field. Yesterday, I was noticing how pigeon-toed he stands. He's waiting for the pitch. I think I've ever seen anybody to the extreme that he does.
That front foot.
He turns it in, doesn't he?
Must be uncomfortable.
He does it for a reason, maybe to remind himself to stay closed. It's his right foot. Watch, see how he turns? Trying to tell himself, I guess, to keep that front side closed up. You don't want the hips or that right shoulder to start coming open and going towards, say, the right field line. You want it to be in time with your swing. Look, shoot, and hitting coach.
Ground ball to second. Harrison grabs it and throws out Span. 2 down. Span 0 for 2. And with 2 out now, Escobar coming up. He is 2 for 2 with a single and a home run. Escobar will take. It's ball 1. We talked about the 3 5-hit games. You mentioned a lot of guys don't get 3 5-hit games in a career. In fact, only 3 players in Expos or Nationals history have 3 5-hit games in their careers. Escobar, the only one to have it in the season. The other 2, Mark Grudzielanek and Hall of Famer Andre Dawson. Rare feat. In the air to right field. Talbot drifting back. Jose will make the catch, and the Nationals are gone in order. We'll head to the 4th inning at Nationals Park. 9-zip.
Thank you for everything you've done for me. Definitely wouldn't be in this position without you. And to all the fathers out there, I'd like to wish you a happy Father's Day as well.
Andrew McCutcheon wishing his dad, Lorenzo, happy Father's Day. You can make Lorenzo's day better by voting for his son. When you go to Pirates.com, 86th Major League Baseball All-Star Game coming up in Cincinnati. Fill out your 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at Pirates.com. Voting exclusively online, available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote up to 35 times at Pirates.com/vote. Strike 1 to Kutch. Doubled his first time up. Whoa, there goes the bat. Made it down into the camera well. That's the spot Robbie usually sits in down there. He got out at the right time. There's Matt. Matt retrieved the bat. Thank you, Matt.
There's the bat flying into the pit. For the old school guys that don't wear gloves, this would be a hard day to hold on to it. Hot and humid like this. They'd have to go up there and grab a handful of dirt when they.
Kutch wears the gloves. Cervelli doesn't. He's got the barehanded approach at the plate. Three balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the payoff. And ball 4. Pirates have a leadoff man aboard in the top of the 4th inning. This is a tweet, a Point Park tweet that Cutchin sent out before the game. Happy Father's Day, Pops. I love you. And that's a picture of him at the wedding. Andrew's wedding this off season. I think that's Pedro behind him. Looked like Michael McHenry to the left. The Fort now with Colorado. And a strike to Jung Ho Gung.
It's Fort Collins now.
We won't see him for a while.
No, we don't go to Colorado for a little while.
The end of the season.
September. Isn't that our last road trip?
It is.
3-city trip or somewhere out on the coast. LA, I think.
LA, Colorado, Chicago. Good thing for airplanes.
That would be a tough one without planes. We'd have to have a day off. Get to LA in a high-speed train.
And a swing and a miss. Jung Ho down on strikes.
Chase one upstairs and what it looked like to me.
1 out for the Pirates in the 4th. And Nissan Road ahead after today. Tomorrow is a day off. Pirates will recalibrate and open up a homestand against the Cincinnati Reds starting Tuesday. The Atlanta Braves come in over the weekend, and it's a 3-day trip to Detroit. That's a dad's trip. Players and staff able to bring their dads on the trip. Then a long homestand just before the All-Star break. The Cleveland Indians, San Diego Padres, and then 4 with the Cardinals. Here's Cervelli batting without the gloves. Doesn't use them. Old school. Ground ball to short. Could be 2. And a double play ends the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 9-0 Nationals.
But
9-0 Nationals. Bottom of the 4th inning. Vance Worley face Harper, Robinson, and Espinoza. Francisco Cervelli bounces into the inning-ending double play. It is our Chick-fil-A double play.
Pretty routine and easy two-hopper. Real close to the bag. See that they kind of took it in a matter-of-fact way, like they were turning two during BP.
So Worley to face Harper. Harper up for the 3rd time. 2-run homer in the 1st. He struck out.
Worley got him.
Also in the 1st.
Got him on an inside fastball looking.
He appealed down to 3rd base. Mike Machlinski said he didn't go. Ball 1-1-0. Harper was such a good young player that he graduated high school early, got his GED, and enrolled in the Community College of Southern Nevada. And was drafted out of there. T-Mobile game changer. 3rd batter of the ball game. A 2-run shot. Home run number 24. RBIs 56 and 57 for Harper.
Asking if that was a strike.
Yeah, so while Harper was in junior college, the rest of his high school teammates were still playing high school ball. In the meantime, Harper was destroying the junior college team's record book. And he goes down on strikes looking. So Vance has his number so far
out of the game. Real close. He was pushing things right there. He was right on the edge. 9-run lead, hot day. He might want it to get tossed right there.
Well, it wouldn't be his first time.
It wasn't that bad of a pitch either. I don't think he has a strong beef.
Well, the cleanup hitter today is Clint Robinson. He's 1 for 2. Let's take a look.
Yeah, right across the knees. You could see the flight of the ball. Well, you start doing that with your hand pointing down there, they will toss you.
He just said, "Sir, I don't agree." That was the translation. There was one time at junior college he got thrown out of a game. All the scouts came to see him play and got thrown out early because he took his bat on a called 3rd strike and drew a line as to where it was inside. And he was ejected right away.
Well, there's certain things that'll get you thrown out immediately, and that's certainly one of them. Draw a line in the dirt, you can pretend it's an arrow back to the showers.
Full count to Robinson. Three balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch from Worley. Got him.
Harper got thrown out earlier this year for something he did or said at the plate. If I remember correctly, there was an outcry about it because he's a star and he shouldn't be thrown out of the game for that. Not that I agree with that view. I think everybody should be treated the same.
Danny Espinoza, second baseman, switch hitter, fouls it back. And that ejection you're talking about came back in May against the Yankees in an interleague game. It was about a low strike call that Harper did not agree with. Swing and a miss, and Espinoza in the hole 0-2. Espinosa out of Long Beach State. He was part of that chain of really good infielders that had come out of there. Bobby Crosby, Troy Tulowitzki, Evan Longoria. Swing and a miss, and Worley strikes out the side of the Washington fourth.
Happy Father's Day to the fathers that are here at the game and watching us on TV. Thank you for all the support. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to my pops, Vincent Harrison. We call him Big Vince. Appreciate everything you've done. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to Tom Walker, Pedro Alvarez Sr., and Big Vince Harrison. 9-0 Nationals. UPMC scoreboard, top of the fifth. And the pleasant greeting is for Jose Tabata. Well, they know his name in Washington now. The first pitch to him is inside for a ball.
Got to buy the umpire a little time here. That one bit him.
A professional courtesy by the catcher Lobaton. Bottom of your screen, scrolling across, the Point Park University tweets. Happy Father's Day wishes. You can get them in here at hashtag Bucks Booth. There's the 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. And he takes a strike. Gonzalez has the sign, and here's the 2-1 pitch. And a ground ball to second. And Espinosa throws him out. And Tabata's 0 for 2. Corey Hart coming up. Hart grounded out to third in the second inning. Hart playing first base today. 3 for 3 in his last outing against the White Sox in Chicago. Things are going well for him because of the way his third hit fell in between the center fielder Adam Eaton and the shortstop Alexei Ramirez. This time a swinging bunt. Gonzalez tags it. He is out.
I didn't see anybody make an out call, did you?
No, neither umpire made an out until Hart, or made an out call until Hart was at first base. I thought for sure Sean Barber would make the call on the tag right away.
Nobody Nobody made that call. Oh, barely got him on the toe. There you go. You see him right on the very toe.
That's what tripped him.
Yep.
A one unassisted putout for Gonzalez. Hart's 0 for 2. There were 2 down, nobody on for the Pirates.
It was called fair, but I never saw anybody call him out. I don't know what would have happened. Well, they would have. Now I know what would have happened. They would have had a replay and it would have got overturned.
Mercer to the left field corner. Will it stay fair? No. Hooks into the seats.
But I think if Hart would have just stood up on the bag, it would have. Because I don't think they thought that he tripped. I think they thought that he kind of dove for the bag.
Jay and Cutts trying to figure out how to get the offense going. Tapper to short. And the Pirates go down in order. We're through 4.5. Nationals still up 9-0. Well, one of the members of our crew had a special Father's Day gift at 1:43 a.m. today. Caden James Graham is the new son of our crew member, our tape AD, Tyler Graham, and Ali Morocco, celebrating the birth of Caden this morning. Everybody's doing okay. 8 pounds, 10 ounces, 20.5 inches.
Hey, congratulations. That's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
You couldn't ask for a better Father's Day present. And the birth of a child on Father's Day. Any day, for that matter.
Quite a Father's Day present, Allie. It'll be tough to beat that one.
We'll see Tyler back at home in the next homestand. Happy Father's Day to Steve Blass, Greg Brown, working on the radio side today. Well, I want to wish my dad Bill in Nashua, New Hampshire, probably watching right now. Happy Father's Day.
I don't think my dad's watching, but Vern, happy Father's Day out in Newport Beach, out in California. I'm sure he's enjoying beautiful weather out there.
It was raining in New Hampshire this morning. Checked in.
I sent my dad a little picture of myself earlier doing the little talk back. thought he would enjoy that.
An action photo of you at work.
An action photo of me at work with a little note told him I'd call him when the game's over.
That should be your new baseball card. You holding a microphone in front of the camera.
He's just learned.
Looking ready.
He's just learned at 88 years old how to do text a month ago. So he can actually see the pictures and things I send him now. So been doing that a little more often. My travels around that showing different things where we've been.
I was going to say, boy, my son gets around. Ian Desmond pops this one up to right. Tabata with the catch. One out. All the places you go and the people you see, you take a lot of pictures. Archimedes Caminero now warming up for the Pirates.
Not as many as you would think, to be honest with you. Snap one every now and then. Something. I kind of did all the tourist stuff years ago. Oh, it's
you've been
so much.
You've been traveling to virtually the same cities for how many years now? Cervelli with a chance here, and he'll make the catch, and that's out number 2.
About 35 years, I think.
Same cities.
Same hotels in some places.
Well, this Wednesday, make sure you're out at PNC Park when the Pirates host the Reds in a Central Division showdown at 7:05. Stay after for a midweek fireworks spectacular, as Zambelli Fireworks will light up the sky, presented by Service Link. Get your tickets at pirates.com. There is Zimmerman on the left, 27. Scherzer talking to him. They own the Nationals no-hitters. Ramos caught yesterday's no-hitter. And the interesting thing about Zimmerman's no-hitter, last year it occurred on the last day of the season. That's not the most interesting thing about it. It was who he threw it against, the Marlins, and Henderson Alvarez was pitching. And Henderson Alvarez in 2013, the season before, threw a no-hitter on the last day of the season.
Yeah, I would venture to guess that the last day of the season dominates no-hitters.
Well, for some teams, they have their bags already packed before the game.
You see that quite a bit. I mean, I could be wrong. I've never looked at any kind of stat, but I think if you went back and looked, that would be the most popular day, as opposed to like Memorial Day, Father's Day, first Sunday in July. I think it's the last day of the season. Probably is the big day for the no-nos, if you had to pick one.
1-2. That's outside. You ever have one? Any level?
No.
Little league? Nothing?
No. Absolutely not. I think closest, I took one, I believe, into the 7th one time. And then I didn't get out of the 7th.
AJ owns one when he was with the Marlins against the Padres. And this one toward the middle. Mercer there from the outfield grass. He throws out Gonzalez. And the Nats are done in the 5th. We'll head to inning number 6 at Nationals Park.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross. Ask a neighbor. And by Levin Mattress. Located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
9 runs on 10 hits, all coming in the first inning. Nationals batting around in the first. Charlie Morton lasting just 2/3 of an inning today. Vance Worley has taken over, settled things down. Part 2 of Josh Miller's Day in the Life with Dick Groat. He'll tour Groat's Champion Lakes Golf Resort while he shares personal stories on what it took to build the remarkable club. How Arnold Palmer handled the course, and much more. A Day in the Life, Tuesday at 6 on Root Sports. Again, a happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, whether they're celebrating their very first Father's Day or they're an old veteran at it. And to the dogs as well. They have fathers too. Well, Neil Walker's going to come up and hit. He will bat in the 9 spot to lead off the top of the 6th inning.
The first action on the trip.
Walker had a stomach issue early in the trip and hasn't had as many at-bats or appearances due to the fact that there's been a lot of lefties, but here he gets to hit and swings and hits it into left field. Second hit of the game for the Pirates.
Like most pinch hitters, you get up there, you're aggressive. See something in the strike zone to hit early, you go after it.
This is Walker's 6th hit right-handed this year. 6 for 36 from the right side. Well, leadoff man aboard. And back to the top of the order, Josh Harrison. Antonio Bastardo loosening up. And that one in the dirt.
Yeah, but the job that Worley did.
Outstanding. 4 1/3 innings.
Yeah, after pitching yesterday.
2 hits, 5 strikeouts for Worley. First into emergency duty after Charlie Morton went just 2/3 of an inning. Morton had 43 pitches in the first inning. There's a base hit up the middle for Harrison. Back-to-back hits to start the 6th.
With the good numbers coming into this game off Gonzalez adds to that with that line drive pretty much right back knee high right over the mound.
Well, 2 on, nobody out. And here is Marte. Marte's about due.
And now that you have runners on base, it's almost mandatory somebody hits one out of here.
Marte is 0 for his last 9.
If you're going to get back in the ball game, right, got to have home runs.
Oh, 1 to Marte coming from Gonzalez. And a ground ball left side. Desmond will flip on to second. That's all they'll get. So Marte aboard on a fielder's choice. And with 1 out, Pirates have runners at first and third. Dan Ugla, who was a dead ringer for Tyler Graham, our tape AD. Just talked about him, his new baby. But last year in San Francisco, when he was with the Giants, I know John Wayner arranged a photo for the 2 of them side by side. Scary looking.
Definitely could be brothers.
One of those separated at birth photos. Strike 1 to McCutchen. That one caught Lobaton. He needs a moment.
Yeah. Guys behind the plate, both the catchers and the umpires, they take care of each other like that.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Right on the wristband of the elbow. And even with all the gear, there's still so much that's unprotected back there.
I mean, you can only wear so much. You can't look like a medieval knight back there. You got to be able to move around a little. There's always someplace you're going to be able to get hit. But that guy knows that fact. He has gotten drilled so many times this year.
That was about 2-3 weeks ago. He went through a stretch where it seemed like every game he got hit in the wrong spot.
Multiple times. Get hit bad.
2-1 to Kutch. McCutcheon doubled in the first. He walked in the fourth, so he's been on base twice. Still pushing 300. He's dropped down a little bit. He got as high as 297 early in the road trip. Now down to 289. Almost there. I think he wanted to pull the trigger on that one.
See there in the UPMC strike zone. Ball just fell downstairs a little bit.
Gonzalez delivering the 2-2 pitch. Full count. Waiting on deck, Jung Ho Kang. Payoff pitch on the way. And McCutcheon goes down swinging. He's been having a bout with the strikeout lately.
Well, that was a pitch very similar to the one we talked about that was just a little low that he was able to lay off. Pretty much in the same spot this time, didn't lay off. Went after it. Just a little bit lower.
McCutcheon has now struck out 6 times in this series. Down swinging twice yesterday.
And this is a place that he's always loved to hit in.
Yeah, he's hit very well here in the past. And he's hit well against the Nationals, period. So he goes back to the bat rack. 1-0 now to Jung Ho. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pirates like to get that first run in, and you never know what can happen. Walker over at third base. Starling Marte at first, 2 out. Two balls and a strike. Theo Gonzalez, originally with the Oakland A's, traded here in 2011. Young fouls it back. Count is even. Steve McCarry, pitching coach, keeping a close eye on him. In his 5 starts against the Pirates in his career, he's never given up more than 3 earned runs. Gunn, ground ball to short. And that's the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. After 5.5, 9-0. toss back out here. UPMC scoreboard. Bottom of the 6th, 9-0. Nationals leading the Pirates. Some changes as Sean Rodriguez goes into the game at third base. And Chris Stewart now catching for the Pirates. And the new pitcher is Antonio Bastardo.
And not really surprising that Stewart is in there now. You see Bastardo's numbers on the year. They're getting better as the season goes along. Cervelli early on, we were talking about that long first inning, catching all those pitches. Heat, humidity, caught yesterday's ball game.
Well, Gregory Polanco now out in left field. And Marte moves over to center field with McCutchen coming out of the ball game. So Jung Ho Gung out along with Andrew McCutchen and Francisco Cervelli. Well, Bastardo facing Denard Span. Span takes a strike. So Jung Ho's day comes to an early end. 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts. And they pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Span. Only National without a hit today. That includes the pitcher, Gio Gonzalez, who doubled in the first. There's the pitch. And that is right over the inside corner.
There you see that ball up and in a little bit. Up and in the strike zone, up and in.
And Span in the air to short center field or toward left center. And on the run is Marte, makes the catch. And there is 1 out in the Nationals half of the 6th inning. Pirates hosting the Reds this Thursday night at 7:05. Make sure you're there. The first 20,000 fans receive a Pirates replica camo cap thanks to PNC Bank. Get your tickets at pirates.com. Good looking cap. And first 20,000 get them on Thursday night at PNC Park for a divisional showdown. Pirates and the Reds.
Yeah, I got to believe that's going to be one of the most popular giveaways. Good looking hat.
Well, Pirates have a lot of good looking hats. I mean, the regular basic hat they're wearing today, the classic Pirate P, the Armor P on there is really neat. That's a classic Major League cap. And they wear the alternate cap a lot that's got the different letter P on it when they wear the black jerseys, which they wear a lot, both at home and on the road. The Sunday caps are great. Throwback to the 70s. And no matter where you go, you're going to see different kinds of Pirates hats. There's one without a top on it. Top's missing on the visor. I always see the pillbox hat around, though.
Yeah, those are always popular ones. I think that hat really reminds people of the last World Series team the Pirates have had. One of the reasons it remains popular, especially if you see one that's got a few stars on it.
There's one right there.
Yeah.
It's got a couple of stars. Swing and a miss, and Escobar down on strikes. 2 men out.
In the early days, you'd come in my early days, come in to play Pittsburgh, you'd see those hats with all the stars. Reminded me of the college football helmets with all those stickers on it. The better players, their hats were just full of those stars. And there would be a couple of guys that would just have a few. So you're part-time players. But I always thought that was kind of a cool thing. It really made the Pirates unique They had a different hat than everybody else.
Here's Bryce Harper. 2-run home run in the first. He has struck out twice looking since.
And nowadays, everybody wears the same hat, same uniform.
Well, change them up slightly here and there, but they mean the basic couple of different uniforms. The Pirates have white, gray, and black.
Everybody's uniform is like same manufacturer, same.
I see.
When I first got to the Pirates, we had 3 different uniforms, and they were from 3 different manufacturers. So they were all different styles, different cuts to them. They all look different, made out of different material.
This one's flared over to Jordy Mercer, who'll make the grab. And Antonio Bastardo retires the side. 1-2-3 in the 6th.
Well, as we hit the 7th inning, Sean Rodriguez is set to lead things off, and he's been playing in the big leagues for 8 seasons now, and he's seen quite a few days like he did yesterday. Now, probably a little more often than he's ever wanted to. He's been involved in 5 no-hitters. We get a look at him right here, including 2 perfect games, and he's been on the wrong side of 4 of them. The only one he's won was when Matt Garza threw one for Tampa back in July of 2010. Now, Rodriguez told me he'll probably take some enjoyment in telling the story once his career is over, but being on the wrong end of 4 of them is definitely not something he enjoys. Now, he did say that in a weird, uncompetitive way, he's happy for the guys that did it, but the competitor in him doesn't like it one bit, Tim and Bob. But how about that? 5 no-hitters he's been involved in 2 perfect games, and 2 of the 5 no-hitters have gone against Sean Rodriguez.
And Sean takes a strike right here, 2-1.
That's an awfully high number.
That's a big number.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, the Rays have been involved in a bunch of them.
Never got to see even one.
You never saw one?
Not even one. Not for or against.
You came close, I know, on 1 or 2 occasions with Doug Drabek.
Yeah, he lost a couple in the 9th. But that's the only ones I can really remember it being close.
2-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. Desmond drops it and throws on to first. And he gets him, so there's 1 down for the Pirates now in the top of the 7th inning. Our day automotive, this day in Pirates history. This date, 1989. The Bucks and Cubs met at Three Rivers Stadium for a fantastic pitchers duel. Greg Maddux and Doug Drabek matched each other 0 for 0 until Drabek was pulled in the bottom of the 10th inning. Maddux allowed 6 hits in his 10 innings, while Drabek allowed just 5 in his 9. It was a couple of future Pirates teaming up to score the game's only run as Lloyd McClendon drove in Gary Varsho in the 11th, and the Cubs won it 1-0. There's a Talbot at the plate, 1 out, nobody on. One 1-0 pitch. That one's in the dirt. Saw Varsho in Milwaukee last time we were in there. Scouting for the Angels. You see Lloyd a lot on the highlights. Managing Seattle. And Tampa rips one to left field. A base hit. So Jose is aboard with a one-out single. Tabata aboard for Corey Hart. Hart takes outside. Hart's 0 for 2 today. Corey hitting just .212. Two balls, no strikes to the Pirates' first baseman. And Corey hits it in the air to right field. Bryce Harper having a problem with the sun. Fights the sun and wins. Throw back to first base. Tabata safe.
Well, he tried to get off to the side of that ball the best he could, and it worked. He was able to follow it all the way to the glove. That's why he's trying to field it on the side. Yeah, there's a lot of little things you can try, but none of them really work completely. You just got to do the best you can and see the ball. You know, as long as you have the dark glasses down, you know, you're trying to get a little bit of an angle on the ball. There's much more you can do about it.
One ball and one strike to Jordy Mercer.
I like the fact that he had the dark glasses on, though.
He's got the flip glasses. Those seem to be darker than just regular old sunglasses.
Well, they come in different shades, but you can get them to where they're extremely dark.
Mercer ground ball to short. Desmond there, flip on to second. Far too many ground balls to short today for the Pirates hitters. Stretch time in the nation's capital. 9-0 Nationals. And on this Father's Day Sunday afternoon, Caleb Green will be singing God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us as we honor our great country with a performance of God Bless America. Once again, Caleb Green.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
9 runs on 10 hits. The 9 first-inning runs standing up for the Nationals. Congratulations to Ryan and Brittany, Pirates fans. Just married. Yep, they made it to D.C. Clint Robinson is the batter to lead things off in the bottom of the 7th, facing Antonio Bastardo, who retired the side in order in the 6th, striking out 1. Robinson today with a double, ground ball out to 3rd, and a strikeout. Speaking of ground ball outs, Bob, the Pirates have grounded out 13 times in this game, 10 times to the left side of the infield.
Well, we were expecting all the ground balls to come from Charlie today.
Gio Gonzalez got spotted 9 runs in the first, and he's just been rolling out there, pitching to contact mostly.
Well, one of the really good numbers that Gonzalez has this year is his ground ball percentage is way up. And that's continuing this afternoon. He's been averaging about, through his career, in the mid 40% range for ground balls. This year it's almost 60%. And he's not hurting that this afternoon at all. You know, I forgot that when we were saying our Happy Father's Day wishes to our fathers, I forgot I'd also wanted to say Happy Father's Day to my 2 sons, 2 of my sons, Tommy and Johnny. I know they're listening. They're diehard Pirate fans. They're sitting in front of the TV. Guys, Happy Father's Day. Can't wait to see you this afternoon.
Number 1 or number 2 for Johnny? The second.
This would be the second one.
Father's Day. That's right. It's old hat for Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy's been through it a few times.
Robinson fouls it off. So the count full, 3-2.
I'm sure they're grilling something somewhere.
Something that used to be alive.
Yeah. Not anymore.
3-2. That's a bouncing ball that'll hit foul. Oh, from up here, looks like it came off the plate. Guess it didn't. There you go. Found another Pirate fan in a sea of red.
I mean, it's always nice to give those foul balls away if you can. Don't throw it back on the field, though.
Right at Jay makes the stab. Harrison positioned correctly. And a line out, and there's 1 gone for the Nationals in the 7th.
Never been a big fan of the throw the home run ball back onto the field like you see happen. Nice play by Jay. I mean, how many home run balls are you going to catch in your life? Hold on to them. Give to your kids, grandkids.
Pitch coming to Danny Espinoza. Espinoza had a single in the 2nd inning. He struck out of the 1st, struck out again in the 4th.
You ever watch roller derby?
Yeah, way back. You mean the new one or the old one?
No, the old one.
The old one, yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched
the T-Birds.
Yeah, the T-Birds.
Yeah.
You know, when they thought they had enough, they'd put their hands on their hip and call off the jam. Seems like that's what has happened today with the Nationals. They got the 9, and I think, what have they gotten, 1 hit since then, maybe?
They have had
a couple of hits.
2 hits. They had back-to-back hits in the second inning. That's been it. They've shut it down.
They have had 0 offense after the first. They've called off the jam.
You know an incredible amount about roller derby, which is frightening.
They were on one of the 2 channels we got growing up.
So I think we had 4 before we had cable, so we got roller derby also. That's why I knew the T-Birds. I didn't know any other teams' names.
Bombers, maybe.
But that was the sign, huh? You put your hands on your hips and called it off?
It calls off the jam.
And Espinosa goes down on strikes. So Bastardo has retired 5 in a row, striking out 2. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in today's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. It's a nice, cool aluminum bottle of it right there. Keeps it cooler longer.
Looks good, doesn't it? I'll be right back.
Okay. You got 2 hands, don't you? Jose Lobaton, switch hitting catcher, batting right-handed against the lefty Antonio Bastardo.
You think you could do play-by-play for roller derby? That'd be a challenge, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I could read a script. No balls and 1 strike to Lobaton. Yeah, swing and a miss. 0-2. Where that blue wristband is on his right arm is where he took the foul ball squarely earlier in the ball game. He almost went down.
A little longer cleats, doesn't he?
Nothing and 2 to Lobaton. Nobody on, 2 down. And he hits it in the air to right field. Drifting over near the line is Jose Tabata. He will make the catch. And Antonio Bastardo faces 6 men and retires them all. Pirates baseball. Here what makes the team confident in comeback wins. And find out what motivated top pick Kevin Newman in college and which current prospects have helped ease him into professional baseball. There's also much more on Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network today after postgame on Root Sports. So 9-0. It's been that way since the first inning. And from the second inning on, it's been a scoreless game. Matt Ben Decker, the former Met, is now out in left field for the Nationals as we go to the top half of the 8th inning. And Michael Taylor moves over to center field. Clint Robinson moves from first base out to right field, so Harper is out.
Kind of has that spring training game feel now, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of
both teams making the wholesale changes.
A lot of scribbles in the scorebook. Those usually come in the 5th inning, though, in spring.
Yeah, that's the dividing line.
Matt Thornton facing Gregory Polanco.
Having a good year. Tough to get a hit off of him. Opponent batting average under 200.
Polanco pulls it to the right side. And Espinosa throws him out. Well, not a lot of balls in the air today for the Pirates. They're flied out twice. Harrison flied out in the 3rd inning, and Corey Hart flied to right in the 7th. Everything else has been either on the ground or a strikeout. Matt Scherzer visiting with Matt Williams, the manager. Probably the easiest game he's had to manage yesterday. Scherzer on the hill. Harrison ground ball through the hole left side. And Josh has 2 hits. 2 for 4 for Harrison, the only Pirate with multiple hits in the game. Let's get that 0 off the board.
This one's been pretty easy for him to manage also. Just sitting back right now.
Marte 0 for 3, hitless in the series. Well, Pirate fans a little more hopeful this weekend. Just didn't work out. And Marte loops one into right center field. And a catch by Taylor. What a grab by Michael Taylor. Stealing a hit from Starling Marte.
A real good break on the ball. Put himself in position to make that fine catch.
Two men out for the Bucks.
It is again. Same pretty much running a dead straight line right to the ball. Well, the Pirates, a lot of home games coming up, and really played much better at home this year. So you would think that over the next couple of weeks, put a little winning streak together, kind of like the one that went away recently.
Jay takes second base. It'll be defensive indifference. Not a stolen base.
Pirates, if this score stands up, will be a game below 500 on the road, but way above that mark at home.
And it doesn't appear they'll lose any ground today in the standings. Phillies way up on the Cardinals 9-1 in the 8th.
Identical scores here.
Stewart goes down, and the Pirates leave a man.
the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Budweiser. Make a plan. Make it home. Let's go Bucks!
Well, the Buccos still off the scoreboard, and now the Nationals have set a Nationals team record 24 straight scoreless innings. All-Star game will be here in 2018, Nationals Park. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 9 first-inning runs that chased Charlie Morton after just 2/3 of an inning. And here we are with Archimedes Caminero getting set to throw the bottom of the 8th, facing the shortstop Ian Desmond. And the strike is delivered. Here's strike 2. On Thursday night in Chicago, he faced 3 batters in the 8th inning, got them all in order. Swing and a miss, and he got that one at 98 miles an hour and strikes out Desmond. Dan Potash standing by with his game break back in Pittsburgh. Oh, big day for Mr. Martinez in Detroit. 3 home runs. That's quite a day at the office. So there's Michael Taylor. He has made some very good defensive plays during this series, including taking a hit away from Starling Marte on the top of this one. Caminero delivers a 99-mile-an-hour heater just past the belt buckle of Taylor.
On a lookout. It's almost at 100.
Line drive, base hit to left.
Well, Taylor not phased at all by the velocity. He had the 99 inside that they had to try and get out of the way of. Went right to the backstop, and then the next one he saw was 99 and pulled it in the left field.
Taylor considered one of the top prospects for the Nationals and one of their most athletic young players.
The athleticism, you can see that. I mean, that's really evident. The hitting not too bad either right there. Pretty good job on a power fastball.
Tyler Moore hitting in the 9 spot for the pitcher Matt Thornton. Moore played first base in each of the first 2 games. 1 on, 1 out for the Nats in the 8th. And a ground ball that's off the glove of Caminero, and that'll be a base hit.
But Taylor may double play if he just lets it go. The experienced guys, the veteran pitcher won't even think about catching this one. Just let it go. It's right to your shortstop. This is your double play ball right here. Jordy Mercer catches that, steps on the bag, flips the ball over to first near the dugout. Even if you catch it, you don't really want to, because now you've added something to the equation. Now you're going to have to turn, give Jordy a nice throw. Just let him have the ball. Just let the hitter give him the ball.
Here's Matt Den Decker swinging at the first pitch and hitting it deep to left, and chasing it is Polanco on the track. He'll make the catch. Polanco was playing him a little more shallow. He had to go a long way to get that ball, and they're now 2 out in the Nationals' 8th.
And the reason I say a more experienced pitcher, because after it's happened to you a couple of times, then you're like, man, I need to let that ball go. But until you experience it, you're in the mode of trying to, I'm going to catch him. I got to catch everything. And then it happens to you and it clicks. Man on first, chopper up the middle, just let it go.
Now Escobar, a couple of hits today, one big one in the first inning, a 3-run homer. He had 2 hits in the first. Scored 2 runs in that inning. Pitch outside for a ball. One-0 coming. A swing and a miss. 98 miles an hour. Camanero's been scored upon just once in his last 12 outings. Dan Ugla is in the on-deck circle. He would hit in the 3rd spot if Escobar reaches. He's behind the count. Foul tip into the glove of Stewart, and it's 1-2. 101 miles an hour. Felipe Rivera warming up. Left-hander. Caminero had something on that last pitch. Still something on that one at 99. This guy can throw gas. So Caminero ready for the 1-2. Here's the pitch. And a ground ball to the right side. Long run for Jay. He's got it. Throws. And he is out. Good play by Jay. We'll go to the top of the 9th. Last wraps for the Pirates. Down 9-0. Allegheny Health Network with the pictures. Pop Evil performing at Stage AE July 9th. 9 is the magic number for the Nationals. A 9 spot in the first. Nothing since. Left-hander Felipe Rivera trying to finish things up.
Only been in a couple of games with 8 innings, but not giving up any hits really at all. 179 the batting average, and look, just 2 walks. He's not used to having base runners, is he?
No. So Pedro will get an at bat. Alvarez pinch hitting. And the first pitch in for a strike. A lively arm for Rivera. In fact, he was with the Rays until just before spring training last year. Planning to go to Port Charlotte for spring training. Ended up in Jupiter. Not the planet, but the city in Florida. There's a base hit for Pedro. Great diving stop by Desmond. He throws him on, takes the hit away. Wow, what a play by Ian Desmond.
And one of the best shortstops in the league, and showed you why on that play.
Thought that base hit was in the books. Looked like he hit it hard enough.
He definitely smoked it. Even after he caught it, I didn't think he'd be able to get up and throw strong and accurate enough for the out.
Well, Rivera likes it. Why not? One out. Here's Sean Rodriguez. He swings and belts one to left field. This one's going back, and it is off the base of the wall. Throw comes into second quickly. Rodriguez slides, and he's safe. Espinosa dropped the throw. It'll be a double for Sean. And the Pirates with a runner in scoring position and one out.
Pretty good throw by Den Decker. That was impressive. Put it right there. Espinosa just didn't make the catch. Well, he really got himself in good position to get the rebound off the wall. He put a one hopper right on the bag. I think Sean was a little surprised that it was going to be that close for the play.
Jose Tabata takes a strike on the inside corner. One for three today. Jose with a single in the seventh inning. He grounded out twice, once to third, once to second. 0-1 and hits one to shortstop this time, and Desmond will throw on to first for the second out. And Rodriguez advancing to third base on the play. After today's game, the Pirates will return home and get ready for 3 against Cincinnati. Be here for game 1 of that series against the Reds Tuesday starting at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. Probable pitchers Johnny Cueto and Jeff Locke on Tuesday. Corey Hart, last hope for the Pirates today.
And Johnny Cueto might not be the guy we want to see with the offense kind of sputtering of late. But we'll be back home. That's the main thing, the way the team has played at home this year. You kind of feel invincible just about whether you get offense or not in our own ballpark.
Well, the Pirates will get on a roll again. Just a matter of when. 2-1 to Corey Hart. Hart 0 for 3 today. A 9-run outburst in the first inning. That's been the story of the game. And that has been all the offense in the game. And Hart lifts one high and deep to left field. This one going back. It is gone. A 2-run home run for Corey Hart. And the Bucks get the 0 off the board. It's 9-2.
How about the distance on that one? Over the bullpen and a dozen rows up into the stands behind the bullpen. Kind of in the category of too little too late, but certainly an impressive blast. Wow.
And Dad sharing the home run ball with his son.
Fastball out over the plate, 96. Belt high. Not much doubt where that one was going to land.
Well, Corey with 4 hits on this trip. That one the most impressive. Jordy Mercer fouls this one off. Texting, hey, we got a home run ball. Father's Day, they won't forget. Bucks down to their final strike, and Jordy fouls it off. And the 1-2. And Jordy hits one well to left field. This ball traveling back, and this ball is off the wall. It bounces away from Dendecker. And in the second, with a 2-out double, is Jordy Mercer.
Like that, there's 2 balls off the wall, 1 over the fence. Rivera was getting a little shell-shocked. He saw the numbers coming up. He wasn't even giving up any hits. Now he's giving up hits and long ones.
And the Nationals bullpen phone just got active. And they want to get somebody up.
Yeah, not that the game is in jeopardy, but they want to protect the youngster a little bit. Don't want him to sit out there and take any kind of a beating. They got 1 out to get in a 7-run lead. They're not worried about the game, but worried about the psyche of the young man. They don't want him to give up 4 or 5 runs. Just 1 inning of work.
1 strike on Polanco. One ball, 1 strike to Gregory. 2 outs, top of the 9th, and David Carpenter out of Fairmont, West Virginia, now starting to throw. Oh, a strike. And Polanco bailed out on that one. Big breaking ball.
Fans got a kick out of it.
So the Pirates down to their final strike. Again. Tried it again, didn't work. 2-2.
It's not where he's trying to throw that breaking ball. He's missing like a couple of feet where he wants it. He wants it, the breaking ball to be outside.
Tried the fastball that time at 96. Polanco fouling it off, staying alive. Pirates with a day off tomorrow. Then the Reds come in Tuesday night at PNC Park. Reds and Braves next week. Polanco goes to left field. It stays up for Dendecker. He makes the catch. And that's the ball game. As the Pirates get a home run from Corey Hart in the top half of the 9th inning. And the final 9-2, the Nationals sweep the Pirates. It's the 3rd sweep for the Nationals this season. And the Pirates go 2-3 on this 5-game swing. And are now 39-30. It's 9 games above 500.
Well, glad to get out of Washington. That's for sure. And nothing you can do about this series. It's done, over with. Get back home, enjoy the day.